real geopolitical framework, or they simply don't have the balls to admit that things are as bad as they are. Because it's like, I don't know, losers don't want to admit they're losing. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, we have won the battle and we are losing the war. Why? Because we we have Infowar, we even have street action. But this is pathetic. They created the Tavistock experiment that was the 1960s in America, was carried out in many ways to brutalize the consciousness of the American people and to it's trauma-based mind control. They basically got you locked into a meme struct, where you believe that in order to assert your cultural awakening, your Infowar, your Renaissance culturalism, that you should protest. That you should protest elected officials, that you should get out into the street with a placard so you can be shot or sound cannoned or what have you. And this is a great little, I gotta think they cooked this whole thing up. Seeing Pete Santilli out there, and I think this whole affair was fucking managed. And then, like, do we give a shit about all the other ranchers whose shit got seized? Do we give a shit that we've been pushed so far? And I agree, it is a Boston Tea Party moment on some level. You know, they could try to hijack and engineer whatever they want, but the organics shine through. We're so good, we're so noble. The organic reality of it shines through. CNOOC developing the offshore shale is all you need to know. You know, the EPA, they use the trendies and the EPA, etc., to shut down production here in the United States, and then eventually some Chinese shell company will come along and fucking develop it via, you know, some deal with Harry Reid or whomever, right? I mean, it's very simple. But what do we do about that? You know, what is like, Iceland does not have the options that we have. Iceland can't stop the meme rape. They can't stop it. Okay, they can't. They kicked out the bankers. Ooh. And then, so now they're just controlled externally, while the Chicoms are drilling their fucking oil and gas. And I'm sure the Chinese will be very respectful to the environment. Good job, trendies. Yeah, Africa's going great. I mean, Africa's not like melting down or anything as a result of this, but then people don't want to study the baseline logistics of African commodities and China. And hey, we provide via AFRICOM, we provide all the blood, all the treasure to finance and provide an umbrella for the operations, and then they hand all the business to the Chinese, because we're two different operating divisions of a global holding company called the New World Order. I mean, wake the fuck up, morons. I mean, that's what we do. We're the United States. We are the enforcement division. We are the enforcement division. We handle a certain percentage of the book cooking. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? Anyway, so what do we do about all this, though? Well, what we don't do is show up everywhere there's a problem with AR-15s and have a fucking standoff with the feds, because at some point somebody is going to shoot somebody, and we don't want that, morons. They created and spent, you know, probably $4 trillion just in the last decade alone. God, I don't even know why that's a small number. 4 trillion sounds like a big number, but it's not really. Just in the last decade alone, they spent at least $4 trillion setting up basically Northcom. I'm just going to use the blanket catch-all Northcom to refer to the systems, personnel, hardware, you know, everything. Structural, protocol networks, everything. The whole apparatus, you know, for North America. And they created Northcom to deal with you guys going out to a field and trying to have a Lexington Green 2.0 moment. You know, our forefathers are ashamed of us because we're like panem et circenses football heads. We're like, yeah, we got them. We drove them back. You know, and at least I gotta hand it to Gary Frenchie. I mean, they had fucking Pete Santilli on, but then they did break right after it and say, okay, this is a psyop. Obviously, I was like, thank you for joining us in fucking reality. Like, this is gonna work. Like, the BLM's just gonna go away. Oh, we ran them off, everybody take a victory lap. There's no victory fucking laps here, folks. The BLM's not going away. It's sad, because I can tell I'm dealing with a bunch of amateurs who've never actually dealt with this problem. Because the BLM's not going away. They're not going to go away, guys. Oh my god. You know what? But let's talk about it. I keep kicking this picture over. That's hilarious. Fucking... I'm kicking with my legs. I'm so pissed off. No. We need... I keep pussyfooting myself around the fucking... I keep trying to get to the punchline. I'm just a stammering idiot. It probably sounds like I'm stammering idiot. I don't give a shit. You can listen to my stammering. Enjoy yourselves, if you give a shit. We need political activity. We need political organization. Political organization is the endpoint to Infowar. The Tavistock experiment of the 1960s was trauma-based mind control to get us all programmed. I should just write scripts and read scripts like James Corbett, and everybody would love me. The trauma-based mind control was designed to get you to protest ineffectually so that they could control who got into office through gerrymandering and redistricting and, you know, the two-party paradigm controlling the debate commission. It's like in the UK with the first-past-the-post system, the Lib Lab Con, a little more sophisticated over there. They got a three-pronged architecture. Here it's just a two-sided architecture, DNC, fucking GOP bullshit. We all understand how this works. Democrats are bloodlickens. I don't need to explain any of this to you. If you've got your head even pulled slightly out of your own ass, you understand all of this already. So in other words, they shunt your participation and control the back end and thus have a total rig, just the way they've rigged global markets. It's just the political structure. Of course, it's kind of sophisticated the way they have to do it in other countries, you know, here in the United States. But not for long, man. You know, they keep pushing Hollywood and fucking, if they keep dissolving the culture and breaking the culture down, eventually they'll be able to get away with anything the way they can everywhere else. Because you don't have people who have a tradition or a history or a sensibility of sovereignty. And when you've eroded that through successive generations, people will no longer stand up for themselves. Now, I keep getting away from this. The reason that we're going to lose the war, even though we win the battle, is because we refuse to organize politically. As a result of our efforts, that's a great PR, amazing barometer of our culture and how we've evolved, but also childish and childlike. And what needs to happen is you need to get a new sheriff in Clark County. You need a new governor, instead of Sandoval, who's just going to pay lip service, you know, when he feels the political pressure. You want to let's put a guy in the office who was at the protest, basically. Do you know what I mean? We need these people. We need people of a like mind in power. And it's not that hard. We've got social media. Everybody's like, oh, you got to be rich. See, they through trauma-based mind control, they convinced everyone, George Carlin included, for instance, they convinced everyone that politics is a non-viable route, when it is, in reality, the only viable route. You're not going to, with AR-15s and shotguns, you're not going to take down Northcom. I hate to be the one to break it to you. They want that to happen because that's the ultimate test framework. They need to develop these Atlas robots into Terminator kill droids, you know, and they need an open test framework laboratory for that. And if you want to go ahead and provide them with that opportunity, I mean, go ahead. Keep bellying up to the trough, morons. Keep bellying up to the trough. Keep waiting until it's too late and you have to go out to the field with guns and stand off with the BLM. Keep waiting until it's too fucking late and then celebrating minor victories. Sorry, I get pissed off because people are so jazzed up. It's like I'm looking at a bunch of children running around in the backyard dressed up as Superman. They think they're Superman, which is not what I expect from us. I expect this from the enemy. I expect that kind of level of idiocy. But at the same time, I'm not trying to come down too hard because I want people to enjoy it because it is a great PR event. However, you know, for the hardcore people, I need to stress these key elements. We need to have political organization. We need to put representatives in the state, in the state house and in Congress, who believe in the Constitution and Bill of Rights. It's very simple. True constitutionalists, not cocksuckers like Sandoval who are going to pay lip service. There's a guy, David Laurie Vanderbeek, who many of you probably already are aware of, who would make a great fucking governor of Nevada, and he's stupid enough to want the job. And that's exactly what you want, is you want people stupid enough to want the job who can be trusted with power. We're still dealing with the basic problems inherent, explained in Plato's Republic. Of course, the average person in the truth community thinks Plato's Republic was a New World Order beta version because they can't read it from the standpoint of the, you know, the timescape and the culture, and they literally do. See, that's how easy it is. That's what the New World Order does, though. They're hijackers and parasites. Imagine 100 years from now, all of your work being twisted around and stood on its head and used to convince people of precisely the antithesis of what you wanted to convince them of. Imagine being able to look on from some afterlife and see your work stood on its head like that. I can only imagine how Nietzsche and Socrates must feel. Anyway, so the BLM is not going away. This is UN Agenda 21. It is a statewide problem. It is a nationwide problem. While we're saving the Bundy Ranch, they're snatching the rest of the fucking country out from underneath us. And we're so stupid, we're going to sit here and celebrate a situation where it got down to the goal line and we pulled off a great defense. I get it. It's fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts, because guess what? Right back into the fucking grind the next day, ladies and gentlemen. A grind where we're not in a position to seat a new sheriff. We're not in a position to seat a new governor. We're not going to use it. We're not going to get jack shit for political momentum out of this fucking thing. Well, maybe not jack shit. We'll get a little bit maybe down the road. Hopefully we'll get something out of it down the road. But my point is, this was a huge PR stunt that we could have used to put a new governor in, a new sheriff in, new state reps, but we're not thinking tactically and from a marketing standpoint about how to exploit these fucking PR events. If the powers that be had access to these kinds of PR stunts, they would wet themselves. They would cream in their jeans. I can't even explain none of this shit to people. I guess that's why I'm trying to make this little video. It's totally the standoff. The standoff was a total psyop. Or the shutting down of the standoff was a total psyop. Makes perfect sense. And obviously the BLM's not going anywhere, and we need to take a wider view of all of this, and we need to get real. We need to wake the fuck up, and we need to get politically organized. We need to utilize social media to really drive next-gen fucking campaigns and next-gen political frameworks and parties. We need a UKIP in the USA, basically. I might just call this thing UKIP USA. I was thinking in the A2 party, America 2.0. Somebody already took the America 2.0 brand, basically, and it's like Hillary Clinton. I mean, we're going to have Hillary Clinton is going to be the president in 2016. I mean, I hope you people realize that. It's going to be like, it'll come down to like Rand Paul. It'll be like, oh, Rand Paul might be, oh, maybe, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, maybe. Nope. And then it'll come down to the day will come for everyone to vote, and they'll basically have a choice between Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton. And you all know that shit's going to happen. You better pull your fucking heads out of your asses. You better realize that I'm not just yanking your fucking chain here when I say all this stuff, and I'm certainly not coming at my bros trying to be some punk ass motherfucker, okay? I mean, I support what happened there on some level, on some fundamental level. I support what happened there. And of course, I'm 110% behind the spirit of it. But it's not 1700, ladies. You know, it's not 1700. They got quantum computers and fucking Terminator robots and drones with billion megapixel cameras. I mean, you know, they got a $4 quadrillion derivatives Death Star where they can implode an entire nation's GDP. Oh, by the way, speaking of the EU as the New World Orders, and I'll leave it at this. Speaking of the European Union, I can't even say EU without wanting to deconstruct its existence. Speaking of the EU, the former poster child for the EU, Spain, is now at, I believe it was 98.5%. Public debt was at 98.5% of GDP.